Now remember, we're on all-season tires. This is the all-weather Vette, baby. We've got all-wheel drive. They want you to drive it in the winter. They want you to drive it in the wet. They don't want you to be limited by the fair weather track days. Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and welcome back to Newcomb's Ranch here in Angeles Crest Forest, my favorite place when I'm up here on the West Coast. We're here with the Out Motorsports group on the Los Angeles Rally, which is a really good time and an incredible group of people and cars. This is only about a third of them. We're in little waves, so probably gonna have some more filtering in soon, but Chevrolet was nice enough to give me this brand new 2024 Corvette E-Ray, and this has been a real eye-opening experience. This is a obviously already sacrilegious Corvette. The C8 has gone mid-engine, but now it has electric power. There's an electric motor up front. This is an all-wheel drive mid-engine hybrid electric Corvette. Never thought in a million years we'd be saying this. And the first thing you notice about this one is the striking cacti green color. It looks incredible. So kudos to whoever at Chevrolet spec'd out this car, especially with like the aluminum finish on these 5-spoke wheels. We're running the carbon ceramic brakes. This is the 3LT package, and it's a convertible. Now the easiest way to spot the convertible, because the roof comes off of all of them, is right here. You won't have the glass over the engine bay, so you don't get to see that, but you do have this great little roll down window over here. Because there's not a ton of visibility out of this, you do get a rear view camera for the rear view mirror, which you'll see when we're driving, but much more subtle than the Z06 that we just had, because we don't have the giant arrow wing, but you do have this really lovely spoiler on the back, and it looks pretty darn good. This looks like what you would do in the aftermarket, and I think they definitely took it to heart that they were going to make the Z06 body on the E-Ray look just a little more distinct. I think it's fantastic. But you have the LT2 engine making 495 horsepower, and then you've got 160-ish horsepower on the single motor up front. So that controls the front wheels, that controls the rear wheels. You combine them, you get around 650 horsepower. And even on all-season tires, because Corvette wants this, or Chevy wants this to be your all-season, daily driver Corvette, it'll beat the Z06 0 to 60. In fact, it'll even beat the Z06 in a quarter mile, which is pretty wild. The Z06 will start clawing it after that, but even on all seasons, this is getting off the line faster than its big brother. Now, like I said, we've got all-season tires, front and rear, a 275 section tire up front. Keep in mind, a 275 section tire is what was stock on an E39 M5 rear, so that's a lot. In the rear, 345 section tire, and Chevrolet likes to say that this is the biggest all-season tire fitted to a production car right now, and that's true. Apparently, the old Lamborghini SUV, that big LM002, had a 345 all-season on it as well. So if we're getting really persnickety, I guess that there is another car that had a big all-season, but hey, anyway. We're going to be living with this for a couple of days here in California. So first, let's hit the canyons. Let's have some fun. Let's see how it operates, how it handles, because now that we have a big variety of C8, from Stingray to E-Ray to Z06, and there's more coming. They're going to make crazier stuff as this goes on, and this chassis can clearly handle it. It's going to get wild. So let's jump in and take it for a drive. So in a straight line, this would be faster than the Z06. It's 300 pounds heavier, and I want to find out, having just come off of a week with the Z06, if this feels heavier, if it's the move. So far, very into the sound of this thing. It's got that grunty LT sound, and the flat plane crank is great. It revs a heck of a lot higher, but this to me sounds more Corvette. And we're out here with the Out Motorsports Rally. Out Motorsports is a wonderfully inclusive group of car enthusiasts, and if you want to join one of these types of things, go check out the link in the description below. It's a fun group of people and a very eclectic group of cars, so don't feel like you need to have something like this if you want to participate. You can come in an Acura MDX or a Ford Bronco if you feel like you can keep it on 4 wheels. But anyway, we're going to go explore this E-Ray a little bit and find out what it's all about. I'm psyched because I've got the top down, we've got the GT2 buckets. These are really tight, so please, if you're somebody who is a larger frame, just don't even bother. Get the GT1 or the comfy seats, because these GT2s are quite narrow. Originally, I was going to go top up, but when you have a convertible in California, you've got to take advantage of it. So, we're going to go jump out there and have some fun. It's immediately apparent that you've got torque, instant torque, and it's that front motor doing some work for us to help us. Thank you. What a legend, what a gentleman and a scholar. We've got cyclists up ahead. When we're here on Angeles Crest, we always want to be respectful of everybody because it's not just our road. And part of the gentleman's agreement of being able to come out and have some fun like this is that we do no harm. It's a little bit greasy out here, but nothing terrible. We just got to watch out for rocks because that's always a problem. When it rains in California, it's just unusual and things slide. And that's where we need to be aware of what's going to happen to the conditions. And that's, you know, one of the reasons you always got to leave a little room on the table on these drives. Oh, we've got rain. That's what we want. Top down with some rain in the E-Ray. I am mixing electricity and water. I'm okay with it. All-wheel drive in a Corvette is a new experience for me, and it's pretty wild to feel it. We're on some greasy roads, but I've just got so much available grip and traction. I can't say I've ever been up here in the rain before. This is a little bit of a new experience, but we like it. I think it's fun. I think it adds to the ambiance of what's going on out here. It's so lush. Sometimes this gets so desolate and brown. It's always cool to see kind of a lush and green Los Angeles. Even from the mid-range down low, this thing just screams. It gives you torque instantly. And compared to the normal Stingray without the electric motor up front, it feels far more powerful. I mean, this is no joke. This is not just like some little tacked on thing. The normal Stingray feels underpowered because the chassis is so good. It feels like, oh man, I can't wait to know what the Z06 feels like with more. And with this E-Ray, I've got Z06 power, but I've got torque everywhere. So this is a really unique driving experience, which I think I'm really excited about. Now, driving it around town, I was really missing out because I'm thinking, well, I've got this hybrid. I wanted to drive in stealth mode more often. I wanted to be able to like take me on bumper to bumper highway traffic without using any fuel. And like, I feel like, wow, that's a real missed opportunity, Chevrolet. But driving it out here, I'm understanding what the tuning was all about and why they did this. I still think you can have both, and maybe we'll get that in an updated version of it, but holy cow, this thing screams. You get a nice crisp shift. It's like a little bang on the back, but nothing egregious. We're not talking like F-type burbles and pops that make you feel embarrassed to drive in town. No, this is sophisticated. It could be louder though. I could go for a slightly louder exhaust. We got rocks. A little wet, so we got to be careful with the greasiness, but great turning grip. Little rocks up here. Got to be cautious. Pushes just a little bit under throttle on the exit, but nothing to be unexpected. That's the thing, is this is so easy to control, and I'm not feeling any intervention from the traction control system if I'm being a good boy. Sometimes you get into cars like this where they throw a lot of power at you and they start to intervene a little more than you want. Like, that's nice. I can brake mid-corner in this car and feel safe. I don't feel like the rear end's gonna snap out, nor is it just like barking at me and cutting power and things. So it's all very organic and natural feeling as a driver. remember, we're on all-season tires. This is the all-weather Vette, baby. We've got all-wheel drive. They want you to drive it in the winter. They want you to drive it in the wet. They don't want you to be limited by the fair weather track days. They want this to be driven. And we're proving it here. Oh, yes. Will, what do you think?
Oh my God, this thing is insane.
It's doing the job?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Steering's a little heavier than the Z06, but not egregious. I mean, it's still very normal. It feels like, I still feel like I want a little more tactility from it, but I do trust the front of this car. Remember, we're on 275s up front, 345 section all seasons in the rear of this thing. Holy cow. The brakes inspire a ton of confidence. And remember, this brake pedal is connected to nothing. It is brake by wire. So initial bite, not quite there. You got to dig a little bit for it, but that's okay. I was worried that when they went to mid-engine Vettes, they were going to be really twitchy and unpredictable and weird, and the reality is they're very drivable. They're very safe on the limit. Let's see how the buffeting is. If we, oh wow, look at that. It's such a nice little cabin with the top down. I've got a heated steering wheel if I want it. Let's go play with the top up. Acceleration in the E-Ray, definitely special.
The electric noise is really cool.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Mid-engine was the correct choice for the Corvette, no doubt about that. I do love the balance of this car. I love too that it's doing like regenerative braking and at some point too to keep this little battery going so we have power for the front. And I don't notice it. I don't notice that regen, like there's no change. There's no like, ooh, it's in regen and then I'm getting pads. It feels really seamless. So kudos to GM, because that's not something that even Porsche did very well in Taycan. And I know it's not the same kind of system, but all right, we'll be gentle with our big rock plow driver. Thank you, God's work. What I love about this car is that you can safely approach limits. You can safely get into the pedal. Even in situations where it's a little greasy. It's not the most, harmonious environment. This is something that I would be a little more nervous in Corvettes in the past, because they'll bite. They'll bite you hard. Everyone's gonna comment about the square wheel. Gotta tell you, I don't even notice it when I'm driving the car. I'm gonna take it easy here because it's greasy and ugly, and probably some rocks. We've got a gentleman in an Aston Martin ahead of us, and like, I gotta tell you, that's a scarier car to drive. That's a scarier car to approach the limits in. The rear end is a lot more skittish. The front end, when it washes away, boom, gone. This feels so approachable. It feels like something that you can work your way up to really nicely, and if you do overstep a boundary, there is recovery, there is mercy in the chassis. Same price point. It really is objectively the same price point between this and the Z06. Availability might be different, but if I see someone get an E-Ray over a Z06 based on preference, I won't fault them because it's completely reasonable. And if we want to recharge, I can hit this button, and now it feels like I'm towing an anchor. It's starting to do a lot of regen braking. If I get into the throttle a little bit, it's going to use that engine to start, you know, trying to push this generator essentially. But yeah, holy cow. E-Ray, man, I don't know that I gave it enough credit when it came out. I don't think I like looked at it enough, but driving it, I'm like, man, this is like a really nice use of hybrid technology for a thing. And if I were to change anything in it, it would just need to give it a little more of the electric vibe in terms of around town traffic. I'd love if this even had a 10-mile range to drive me around on fully electric EV power. That would be a joy. And I would genuinely appreciate it because this gets the same fuel economy as a regular Stingray, which is like, you know, not good, 19 or 20 miles per gallon. It would be like, what if this did 25 to 30? Like, what a legend. You know, old LS Corvettes would do 30. They were geared so tall, and on the highway, practically be in Civic territory. So thank you so much to Out Motorsports for putting on this incredible rally. I have had the time of my life out here this weekend. It's been such a blast, and the people are like really what make it. The cars are fun. Everyone got to like really giggle and enjoy themselves driving their cars hard. Some people had lived out near or around Los Angeles their whole lives and never driven this road. That's crazy to me. So I'm really thrilled that this rally kind of brought some people out here and showed them some fun roads, showed them what the rally scene is all about and how to drive respectfully. You know, it's nice to be in a group of like-minded people who aren't going to be crossing double yellows and driving like maniacs, putting other people in danger, but we can all find a way to be spirited, fun individuals, and that's a wonderful thing. And also thank you to Chevrolet for tossing the keys to this E-Ray, because my goodness, was this the perfect vehicle for the job. It was wonderful. Everyone loved the color. I loved having the top down, and people wanted rides. I got to give some like little thrill rides in it, which was a blast. Everyone was shocked at how capable a hybrid electric mid-engine all-wheel drive Corvette is. What a bizarre sentence that I never thought I would be saying. Don't forget to respect the drive, driving into the sun, and I'll see you in the next one.